So hi guys, my name is Shola Olotu. I mean Oluwanisola Olotu, but nobody calls me that. My name is Shola, except Didi who calls me Olu. So I'm getting used to that. I'm a Global Mind alum 2018, 2020. I'll be talking about leveraging your Global Minds degree for a career in the corporate sector or the corporate space. And just before I start, I would like to say that, like most of you, I came into Global Mind with the idea of either research or I would say for me it was both, finding an opportunity to both work in the field and do research. So it was a mix of both for me. And applying to Global Minds was more of a curiosity for me. I remember just saying something and I was sharing with my colleague Joyce and now I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Let's just apply to it and see how it goes. The interest was just, learning about social cultural psychology, and it was Global Mind was quite new. So there was nothing like that. It was more of curiosity and the challenge to, move from one country to another and see how it goes. So right now I work in the corporate space. Would I say I love it? I really love it. And I think my success story for Global Mind, post Global Mind, was not applying to any PhD. Given the fact that I was so PhD driven, coming to Global Mind, even after my first year, I was like, I can't wait to start my PhD. But after Global Mind, I just felt like, you know what? I learned a lot. I really need to dwell, on what I've learned, see how I can utilize them. And at the same time, I think I left Global Mind with so many ideas that I felt like I didn't know what I want to do a PhD in. I probably, for now, it's still like I'm getting clarity on it. But right now, I'm a product manager at Procter& and Gamble. I build okay, so we have like people, we have a lot of opportunities for psychologists. So let me get started. This is just about what you learn during the Global Minds experiences and what you can do with that. Like, so I titled this the what you learn during the Global Mind opportunities. And it's a good thing that everyone like the speakers before me have said a lot of things about what you learn during the Global Mind Global Mind learning experience. It's very experiential in the sense that you're not just learning, but you're going through it. So one of the key skills which is relevant, which I think was instrumental for me during the Global Mind experience was research skills, research method from Max Bilensky to dynamic social psychology. To be honest, dynamic social psychology it was weird for me. It was a very new concept. I remember me and my classmates were kind of like laughing throughout the class, using machine learning model to predict romantic couples. It was new and I never knew it was going to be relevant for me. So, but it was interesting for me. I took it and I took it serious. So what are the things you can do with this in the job space, in the corporate workspace? You can do research with these skills. There's a lot of research that's being done. And I feel like with your Global Mind experience, you could fit in into any place, just doing research, sorry. What type of research, qualitative, quantitative, and mixed? I think these are the things we learned during Global Minds. And just yesterday, I think I was going through Twitter and I saw a tweet from one of the professors, was it North Carolina University, I'm a psychology professor, and he tweeted, take all the method courses, all the research methods that you find, quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods, take every single course that your schedule will allow. This will make you the most competitive for jobs in and out of academia, and it will provide you with option for side also. I feel like, these words are very true. In as much as statistics has to be one of the most difficult courses for a psychologist, I feel like they are quite relevant in the job market. And there's a lot of space for you in the job market too. So in Global Minds, we learn about intercultural competence, acculturation, adaptability, that it becomes so tiring. But to be honest, I feel like these are psychological skills that will make you really adapt in a global mind space. Not in the global mind space, but in the corporate world space. I feel like the key to existing to the 9 to 5 is your ability to adapt to different work. Georgina was talking about how she had to adapt to new way of working, diverse environment, and at the same time the cross functionality and the requirements needed to perform in such spaces. I feel like if you can move from one country to another, learning new languages, learning where to get your shower gel from, learning where to get your best, food stuff from, I feel like it will be easier for you to even job up from one job to another as long as you're curious or you find challenge interesting. So I feel like these are skills that you would acquire during your period in Global Minds. I like to use pictures of my colleagues, participating in one activities and the other. In as much as it sounds fun, I feel like this is just how it is in the outside world. You just need to adapt. And where else can you learn this than Global Mind? The intercultural communication of just talking to people from diverse culture, diverse sexuality or sexual orientation really plays a lot. And one place you can acquire this is in Global Minds. Then the last one, which is also instrumental for me, was my internship experience. I feel like we really don't talk much about how our internship opportunities or internship experiences are quite pivotal in the job we get post-study. I think for me, my internship experience was really a great one. I had the opportunity to really learn. And funny enough, Georgina also did the same internship with me. I mean, but in different set, I interned at PwC as a global mobility, also with Beverly, who was a set ahead of me. So I feel like if you have the opportunity, it's a great opportunity. And maybe I'll talk about the internship options I had. So I feel like during your internship or before your internship, it's crucial to know what kind of internship you wanted to do. For me, I wanted to do an internship in the industry. What kind of industry? I was much more caught between the non-profit, UN, and PwC. I remember I got internship opportunity in UN in New York, and one of the administrator in Coach, I can't forget, she asked me why I was going for UN instead of PwC, and I told her, I'm a psychologist. I'm not going to that corporate space. I want to probably save the world, like most of us. And she had to like sit me down, introduce me to someone in UN, and they had to like, I spoke with one of the directors in UN, and she told me as a young person, she feels like the PwC internship will be very, instrumental for me. Then after PwC, I can easily come to, UN if I want to. And I feel like that was the best advice I ever, had in my life. And this was crucial also in my career path. I will talk about the what. So what are the kind of roles you can do with, post global mind? What kind of opportunity lies ahead? I feel like everybody, most speakers before me and probably after me are reflective of this job opportunities that lies within the corporate space. The first thing is, it's important to know your interests. Are you interested in research and analysis? If you're, then you could be like Georgina, you could work in a research space. You could be a US researcher. UX research, which is user experience research, it's a big job within the tech space because it's important we live in a customer-centric world whereby every CEO, the goal is to increase customer satisfaction. And to do that, you need to understand what kind of customers you have, what are their preferences, what kind of channel can you use to reach it, then how long can you continue to improve your customer satisfaction. Who else can do that other than psychologists? And there's a big opportunity for us within tech field, not just within tech field, within product field, like other fields where they need to conduct surveys just to know understanding of what kind of customers they have. That even in marketing they need user experience researcher, or some of them call them customer experience researcher. This is a psychology dominated domain, only mostly for psychologists. But these days we have people coming in for stats, for math, because there's less psychology interested in coming to this field. So I feel like this is one key area in which your research skills could be pivotal. Consulting, I think I've forgotten the name of the speaker before Georgina. He talked about being a consultant, doing different things in psychology. For me, I was consulting as a strategy analyst. I was looking at one of the projects I worked on was post-pandemic. How do we try to adapt? How do we make sure that employees are adapting to the digital changes, not just digital changes, environmental changes happening around them? How are we sure that employees are in the right space to give their best to the organization? Because if employees are not giving their best to the organization, then we'll be at the loss. Then also one of the projects I work on was like post-pandemic, the work environment become an employee-driven space whereby the needs of the employee determines what kind of offers the organization have. For example, before pandemic, it was more of an employer space whereby employers would tell employees to come to work 5 times a week. But post-pandemic, it's more of like, we want to work with remote. We want 4 days working week. It's more about, okay, what can you offer me from the employee? So and because of that, every employer had to like work on improving their employee value proposition. Who else can do this job rather than psychologists? You need to understand, okay, what are the motivations of of every employee? Maslow hierarchy comes into play. Who else knows this than psychologists? So it was very interesting for me to leverage my GM skills, my research analysis skills in within strategic consulting. Interested in human resources. Um, Naturally in the corporate space, human resources has happened to be like the space where psychologists would always fit in. But right now we have great opportunities to be chief diversity officers, diversity directors. I still see that most of the DEI roles are taken by people, probably with real life experience, but not people with like academic experiences. And given the fact that Global Mind is such a new and niched um, program, I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for us within this role. We just need to search and reach out to it. Then people analytics, talent analytics. If you're interested in the analytics part of HR, this is somewhere you can work. I started from this role in my second company. Right from PwC, I've always loved doing the analysis for them, working on Excel. So doing this also was very fun to me. Till I wanted something more. And I feel like if you're interested in analytics, probably this could be a starting point for you. Just looking at analyzing, research from conducted on the field about people, about motivation and all. So if you're interested in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and information technology, you could, start as a data analyst. With your psychology skills, you have enough skill set. Just with little course here and there, you have enough skill set to be a data analyst. Then as you keep on progressing in your workspace, you could do some personal development and either pivot into data scientist or data engineer. Currently I started as in HR analytics, then moved to consulting, then I moved into business analyst. And I will tell you that both of them tie in line. It wasn't just me moving. The skill set I built from Global Minds to my internship to consulting, they all feeding into what I do as a product manager, which I'll be talking about later. So approaching the job market, how do you approach the job market? I feel like everybody has said how they approach the job market, and I'm only saying anything different from that. Internship, if you're pivoting to a new field that is completely different, for example, IT, one of the best way to get a job in IT is just through internship. If you don't have the experience or if you don't have computer science degree, it's difficult to get into IT typically. But if you come in with experience and you're able to say your psych degree and your analytic skills or your research skills, you could get it's a foot in the door for you, and you could get to work as an intern. Then networking, I feel like we cannot underestimate the power of networking. If you're interested in a role, I think we have over 80 alumni. I don't know, in Global Mind. You could reach out to someone. I think someone will probably be doing something which you're interested in. Then if it's outside of the scope of Global Mind alumni, I think you can reach out to people on LinkedIn, ask if you can, have a coffee chat, or if they could. I feel like on LinkedIn, people just send connection without really being upfront about it. Before you send that connection, attach a message. Oh, I saw your profile. It's quite interesting. I'm interested in this field and I would like to seek your opinion. Then the person accepting the request will know that, okay, this is why this person is sending me a request just to network. So networking is crucial in getting the next job or in getting a foot in the door. Then personal development. It's not just enough. Like I feel like at every point in life, there's a need for personal development. Global Mind will equip you with the research skills, but it's up to you to go back and develop on them on your own, on your personal time. How can I improve my research skills? How can I improve probably my R skills or my SPSS skills? I think if you develop those skills yourself, then it doesn't matter whatever position you're applying to, you would always have a foot in the door. Then lastly, mentorship. I feel like having adequate mentors or seeking mentors in the field in which you're interested in will set you in the direct path in terms of you spending the right amount of time in building up for what you want. I feel like sometimes we go running in circles because we don't seek mentorship. So we do things our own way and end up, coming back to things where coming around in circles to things where we could have done, straight. So I feel like these are like really key in approaching the job market. So talking about my journey into PM, I started my internship in PwC as a global mobility intern in 2019. It was supposed to be for 4 months. However, they extended me for 6 months, which was really great because I got to improve my Excel skills. Before the internship, I don't think I was really good with Excel. So they had I'd had some survey that I was doing from clients, and just analyzing them really set me on an Excel. And these skills was able to get me a job in Oliver Wyman, which is a strategic consulting company. First, I worked in operations in HC, which was more like HR related. It wasn't really where I wanted to. So I kind of like reach out to people and see what the companies are working on in different areas. I was like, oh, I can do this for you. And before you know it, I was promoted to a strategy business analyst within the consulting team. And I got to work on different projects, like the employee value proposition. It was really interesting for me. Then Procter& Gamble. Currently, I work as a product manager for capability in Product Gamble. And how did I get the job? A LinkedIn recruiter reached out to me and was like, they saw that they saw checked to my profile. And I think personally, I'd done some Azure training on data science and AI fundamentals, which were out of my own time. So she reached out to me and was like, oh, would you like to interview for this position? Then I interviewed, and I remember the first thing the hiring manager said was like, you studied psychology. We discovered that due to the pandemic, consumers' buying behavior has started changing. People are moving from going physically to the store to going online to buy things. It's hard to predict it. It's hard to predict consumer behavior. And right now we're building solution to kind of optimize how we can sell best, understanding consumer behavior.